Good morning, friends. So today I want to talk to you about something that I have been thinking about a lot because as much as I strongly believe in this subject, my family during the pandemic has let this slide. What I want to talk to you today about is creating systems in your family that reduce your stress. And a lot of people ask me how they can help a friend who's going through something difficult, whether it's a cancer diagnosis or divorce or, whatever the case may be. What can I do to help somebody who's going through really difficult times? And my answer is almost always about reducing their stress by reducing the number of things that they have to think about. On a day-to-day basis, like just to keep the business of our families running, so many things need to be done. And when you're going through something stressful, your brain is just going in all different directions, and it's really, really hard to focus on what needs to be done. So I'm suggesting things like, give them gift cards for meals so they don't need to be thinking about what they're going to make for dinner each night. Hire them a house cleaner or just show up and do their dishes, that sort of thing. But as a parent, sometimes you might not have people in your life who are able or willing to show up and do those things for you. You might not have somebody who is Googling, how do I help my friend through a divorce? And so it's up to you and your family to figure out how you're going to reduce your stress so that everybody is coping better in the middle of something really difficult. So when I talk to other parents about what it is that they can do, I am always talking to them about what they can do to reduce the number of things that they need to think about each day. And starting that always begins with making an honest list of the things that you need to do each day. And that means literally everything that you are doing. So when you're waking up, reminding the kids to get up, and then figuring out ways to delegate those things. So for example, if we're talking about waking the kids up, if you're the one that goes in there and wakes them up in the morning, delegate that to an alarm clock. If you're talking about making breakfast, teach the kids how to do that. So the first thing you do is you go through your day-to-day and figure out what needs to be done. And then the second part of it is going through and saying, do I actually need to be the one to do this? Or is there another creative way I can get this done? And that doesn't mean that you're going to delegate every bit of your day, but you want to create options for yourself so that you're not laying awake at night worrying what you're going to do if you're exhausted in the morning. You've already figured out, the kids can do this. So that figuring out of the thing, even if you aren't executing on it right away or you never execute on it, it just reduces your stress level. Second thing to do is, if you do not have one, set up a routine for yourself and your kids that you do every single day. That means there's designated times for things and designated days of the week for various activities. So if you have, a time of the day after school is over, that's always chore time. And these are the days for laundry. These are the days for dusting baseboards, as if you care about that in the middle of a crisis, but just an example. So each day you have your morning routine where all of the things that need to get done in the same order each day. And then you have rhythms where, because it's a Tuesday, it's laundry day. Because it's a Wednesday, it's, whatever day it is for chores. And then each evening at the same time, the routine starts for bedtime. The more routines that we have, the less we need to think about things. They are just set in a structure. It's a system that is set, and you don't need to think about or argue about it because this is the way things go in your family. The next thing to think about with regard to routines is a standard operating procedure. So as annoying as this sounds, this is just an overview, by the way. Like, I can teach you how to do each one of these things. A standard operating procedure, though, is basically, this is what done looks like. This is how you do the dishes. You don't just eat your meal and then throw all the dishes in the dishwasher and close it and now it's done. First, you rinse your dish so there's no pieces of noodles stuck to the bowls. And the reason we do that is because the dishwasher gets clogged if there are noodles that are in the bottom of it. So first we're rinsing off all the extra food. We're setting it in there in a way that the jets can actually get the dishes clean. Then we're closing the dishwasher. We're setting the timer. This is how this is done. That way you're educating your kids about the reason why things need to be done the way that they are, and that gives them the power to actually be helping with things. And the more that you can write these things down for your older kids, the better, or for your partner, or for anybody that you're delegating who's going to come in and help you. That sets everybody up for success. Next would be simplifying your meals. Meals for me during my divorce were a really rough one, and I was highly stressed about the fact that I thought I needed to be giving everybody organic meals every day, and I just couldn't cope with doing a full-time job and creating this amazing meal. So I relied a lot on Trader Joe's frozen meals. And as much as that wasn't the healthiest choice, the stress that it took off of me was the healthiest choice for me. There are a lot of really simple ways that you can reduce the amount of stress around your meals, where you have, again, a rhythm that because it's Friday, it's spaghetti night, because it's Tuesday, it's lasagna night, things that make it so that you don't have to be planning, you don't have to be thinking about it. It is just done. Also, meal delivery services, if you can afford them, where it's Blue Apron, or it's even just from your local grocery store, just having those things delivered so that you don't need to figure out how you are going to get it done. Just the less things you have to think about, the better. Keeping a list of the things that you know that your kids will eat. This is good for not only you, but for anybody who is available to help you. Their favorite things, the things that they absolutely will not eat, it will help you get help. And making meals ahead of time. So if you are making enchiladas, making 3 times as many as you need and freezing the rest. If you have a local community that you're a part of, if you have a group of single parent friends, or friends that have cancer also, or just a group of friends who maybe aren't going through something difficult, you can trade meals where you make extra of what you're making, you freeze it, and then you give that to your friend and they trade you something that they've done. That way you have variety and you aren't having to think about a meal. And lastly, just to reiterate, setting up a routine or a rhythm for each day of the week to help with activities specifically. So if your kids have soccer on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you're delegating for help depending on what day of the week it is. So for example, Tuesdays are soccer days where Jane is going to take the kids to soccer practice, and Thursdays are soccer days where Jim is going to take the kids to soccer practice. So you're not relying on that same person who you start to feel guilty because they are going out of their way constantly. You're divvying up the help that you're asking for based on the day of the week, and that structure helps your kids too, knowing what to expect out of each day. And it reduces the number of things that you need to think about because okay, Thursdays are soccer where Jim's taking care of this and I don't need to worry about it. And even if you're not in a situation where you can't do anything, so, say you're going through a divorce and you don't have cancer and you're free on Saturdays, that's your carpool day. You say, okay, Jane's going to do Tuesday, Jim's going to do Thursday, and I can do Saturday. So you are contributing also, but you're splitting the work among multiple people. So I hope that this helps you think a little bit more creatively about ways that you can create systems in your household to reduce your stress. The more upfront work you can do to kind of plan things out and create these systems and put them in place so that people understand what is expected of them and what they can expect, the less stress everybody in the family is going to have. So if you have any questions about this, please feel free to reach out to me on Instagram at Mighty and Bright Co. or on the website at mightyandbright.com. Thank you so much, and I hope that you have a wonderful week.